puck goes behind the Flame net. Now away to the corner on the left side. A battle for it with 6 seconds left at the blue line. The Coyotes keep it in. There's a shot just wide of the net. Puck going into the corner. Taken away. You can put it in the win column. Playoff. Yeah, baby! Now it's the Flames' turn to race ahead. Kovacic on right wing to center. Hatcher belts him off the puck, but Leopold carries on. Shooting the puck into the Detroit zone. It goes around the end boards with a minute to go in the first overtime period. The puck's in the left corner in the Red Wing zone. The Flames have it. Conroy goes behind the net. He's wrapped up by Lang. The puck into the left corner for Iginla. Iginla to the left circle. Iginla shot. Joseph save. Rebound. They score! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Martin Gilliland scores! The Flames win it! 1-0! Yeah, baby! The Western Conference Finals.
The veteran does it again. Marty Jelena just perched himself at the side of the net. Conroy and Iginla doing all the work. The puck eventually coming to Jelena. Jelena throw it in the net, and now the Flames are moving on.
The Flames beat the best team in the National Hockey League during the regular season, the Detroit Red Wings. 4-2, clinching it in overtime tonight. Here's the announcement on the winning goal.
Game 6, scored by number 23, Martin Jelena. Assistant number 22, Craig Conroy. And the number 12,
Contemporary carpet time of the winning goal. Martin Jelena, for the second time in this playoff year, ends a series with an overtime goal.
Now 5 seconds left to go here at the Montreal Forum. 5 seconds before Calgary will have its biggest celebration. And Al McInnes in the penalty box. We'll watch the remainder of the game from there. Over at the Flame bench, they are already getting into the celebrating mood. 5 seconds left, face-off in the Canadian zone. I think what they're telling them is to let them win the face-off and just pull out of there. Don't get involved in any altercations at all now. And over at that Flame bench, there's all kinds of excitement going on there. Over at the penalty box, Jim Poplinski and Tim Hunter not dressed tonight, enjoying Al McInnes. They've got their sweats on, and the Calgary Flames have won the Stanley Cup. We're the winners! We're the winners! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! What a great game, Peter, and that's what they worked all this year and maybe for the last 5 years to try to build a club that could do it, and they did it. They got to be happy. And the Flames coming out to celebrate out on the ice now as the Calgary Flames have won the Stanley Cup for the first time in their history, and they do it here in the Montreal Forum. And they're rolling out the red carpet as the visiting team is going to receive the Stanley Cup in the Forum for the first time since 1928, and the first time against the Montreal Canadiens. What a gritty performance by the Flames here after falling behind 2-1. They come back and win 3 consecutive games and capture this series 4-2, and down on the ice it is bedlam for the Flames as they're celebrating their greatest victory.
I'm Jake. I can't skate. And you guys know what the video is today. God. This one's gonna be really hard to actually record in a way that's just not me blubbering into a microphone. Today, we are remembering the voice of the Flames, Peter Maher, who passed away today And just saying that sentence doesn't seem like it sounds right. It doesn't seem like that should be possible, does it? Unfortunately, that's how things are. The timing of this is so bizarre because yesterday we learned that the Flames had a new radio home, and 770 was playing a whole bunch of old Peter Marr clips in their announcement in some ads yesterday. And hearing Peter again, I almost cried. I'll be honest with you. Which is really funny because now I really am gonna cry. And I'm gonna do it on the internet in front of all of you. And some of you out there who are a little more casual, who like hockey, but now I'm gonna scratch that. Today is just surreal. It's just surreal because Peter Marr was synonymous with the Calgary Flames for over 30 years. And even still now today, if you search up Calgary Flames radio calls, you're probably gonna run across a couple Will's calls pretty far down the page. But the first thing that's gonna come up are those videos that I started today with. And even on a happy day, those videos can move me to tears, especially the 04 ones. You gotta remember, I was 10 years old. I was 10 years old when that went down, and it just captured my imagination entirely. I ended up going to the University of Calgary for political science, but before that, I actually applied at SAIT to get into broadcasting, and it was because of Peter Marr. When I was young, sometimes I'd have to go to bed early, as you do, and obviously didn't want to miss the end of the game. So I had this old silver and black Sony boombox style radio, and I would go to sleep listening to Peter Marr call games, or more often than not sleep all the way through the overtime call-in show, and then have to have mom, dad, or me sneakily turn off the radio before I got in trouble. But that radio is very attached to my memories of Peter. And it's because of games like you saw at the beginning there. And the years leading up to that, even when Jerome McGinley first burst onto the scene as the best player in the world. And he was scoring 50 goals. That was actually the first time I heard Peter Marr say Yeah, baby. It wasn't the playoffs, because what are the playoffs? I'd never seen the playoffs growing up. That playoff run reminded me, yeah, baby, even existed because of the rule Peter had that it had to be something really special to actually use that call. And what's interesting again is I one of the things I would look forward to when I was starting listening to a game on the radio is Pete's intro to a game where he'd be like, "Tonight, live from the Pengrowth Saddledome, the National Hockey League presents the Calgary Flames versus whatever opponent we were playing." It gave the game such meaning, such gravitas all the time, and the calls were always exciting. I would be watching the game on TV with the radio call on, unless it was Chris Cuthbert, because Peter just made it so exciting as a young person to listen to. And I know older folks, you got memories of Peter going way farther back than I do. You got to hear way more cool calls than I ever did. The fact that he was there every night for 33 seasons and then to do his afternoon hits on the Fan or on 770 or on 66 CFR, which is actually the first place I remember Peter. 660 was the home right after 770 lost the rights. And it was an oldies station that would transition to Flames games. The absolute most deserving Hockey Hall of Famer I know. He's got an Iron Man streak like nobody else. He never missed a game until he retired. That's just stupid. Life, sickness, fatigue. It didn't matter because this is what Peter Maher loved to do. And it's why when I'm doing the game recaps, whenever we win, I always start with "you can put it in the win column," because that's how I always feel. When they win, I always hear that. I met Peter Maher once or twice, charity things. He was just the kindest guy. We never talked for too long, and I'll be honest, I was probably a bit too starstruck to appreciate it. But it's crazy that today is happening. Just crazy. And this is one of those days where I still am gonna miss 960. Because everybody's gonna acknowledge it today. Everybody's gonna have a hit. Barn Burner did 15 minutes. They did a great video on this. I'm gonna be up around 15-20 minutes whenever I decide I'm done or that I've cried enough. But were the fans still around, we all know that nothing that was supposed to be talked about would have been talked about for the rest of the day. We would have got this news, and it would have been a 12-hour version of the Overtime Call-In show, and we would have had everybody at the station sharing memories, everybody calling in sharing memories. All of his former broadcast partners coming on, or most of them, whoever they could find. Of course, we'd have to go back to the Newfoundland to find the originals, and that'd be crazy. It's just, it's not gonna be the same, and it hasn't been the same since he retired. And don't get me wrong, I love Wilsey. I want Wills to be the guy when 770 comes back. But even he said, I'm never gonna be able to fill those shoes, cause you can't do it. You can't do it. He made all of our lives in this community better for what he did. And he was kind, and he helped in the community, and he was Calgary Flames hockey for a lot of people. For me, he's the biggest voice attached to the team ever. There's a little bit of Chris Cuthbert there. There's some Derek Wills there, even. There's definitely Pat Steinberg and Rob Kerr. But Peter was the guy. And he's definitely earned his rest. He never took it when he was alive, hardly. Hopefully got a little more rest since he retired. But apparently somebody up there needs somebody to call games where you picked the right guy. You picked the right guy to call games up there, because he's the best guy to ever do it. To ever do it. Thanks, Pete. Leave your memories in the comments. Do all the YouTube things, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, go Flames. You can put it in the win column.